Oh,
In
yeah.
baseball,
Yeah.
when you strike out 4 times, you get a golden sombrero.
Really?
Yes.
American Timelines is a member of the Queen City Podcast Network. Find out more at queencitypodcastnetwork.com.
So now I'm obsessed with time. Come on, tell me about the time. Had it all in my hand tonight. Had the time of my life. When the words all come down like blues on Tuesdays gone down. Throw it all away. Throw it all away.
Okay, welcome to our special D-Day episode of American Timelines. We're jumping into June 1944, and I'm here with three wonderful gentlemen that are going to help me go through this month, and we're going to switch it up a little bit. We have from the Gruff and Loud show, Steve Bishop.
Oh,
Gruff,
hey.
otherwise
Sorry,
known
I
as
didn't know
Gruff.
I was introducing myself.
Yeah, no,
Thank you, Joe.
tattooed rebel,
Tattooed.
wears a kilt, knows how to
Choked
measure
with
wrenches.
resin.
Yeah,
Yeah,
loves the weed.
we all have hobbies.
How are you doing today, Steve?
I'm all right. I'm all right. It was a nice day. Day
You
off
ready to
work.
jump in?
Yes.
You ready to jump
Yeah.
in?
Feet
you're
first.
are you still a big Trumper?
Not at all.
Okay, just kidding.
Not at
And
all. I thought we weren't going to espouse hate.
no, we weren't gonna. Yeah, no hate. And below him in my Zoom screen is the wonderful and beautiful Sith Lord, the
It's
Doctor of
funny.
Style, Artstar.
It's funny because on my screen, I'm above him.
Oh, you are. See, it's different
Yeah,
for everybody.
You're
So
below
I'm-
me, so I was like, I don't know where this is going.
Yeah, no,
Could be anywhere.
I'm
Well,
next to Joe, above
yeah.
I
Hunter.
wish they could just get a
diagonal.
consistent.
So I'm in
Yeah.
the upper west quadrant.
Okay,
Oh,
so you're
you're
the Jim J. Bullock square for me. So this is Art Star from the Nerd School podcast, Mr. Art Star. How you doing, Art Star?
I'm great.
You
I'm
good?
wonderful.
You
Oh,
feeling
yeah,
good?
yeah. I'm feeling good.
You got a fresh haircut? You look good.
Yeah. My grays are
Take
turning to
the
white.
headset off for a
Yeah.
second. I didn't see the haircut.
Yeah, look how good. Look how
Show
short.
My
me.
grades are turning.
Ooh.
Oh,
Wow.
And that
My
makes the
grays are
beard
turning
look
white.
bigger.
In a while.
Yeah.
And
like
it's
that.
weird because I was just looking at my hair, and like my hair's starting to go from curly to Steve straight.
oh,
So at some point,
it's gonna
if I
be
let-
wavy.
right, if I let it
It's gonna
grow
be
out
wavy.
again,
Yeah.
I'll be rocking a Steve ponytail.
Oh, you can just have it
Yeah.
parted.
That's great. Nothing
Oh,
wrong
But
with
it'll be
that.
like
Beautiful.
it'll be all white.
You got a great hairline though, Art.
You
You
do.
probably got
You
the best
do.
hairline in
You're very
the
lucky,
room
there,
right now.
sir.
Yeah.
You're a beautiful man. We
I
all
just
want to
like-
sleep
I
with
like-
you.
I
How you
wouldn't mind
doing?
a cuddle. Would
How
not
you
mind
doing?
a cuddle.
How you doing?
And also joining
Better
us is
now.
our self-proclaimed World War II buff. He gets a boner for the World War II, and he's a pilot and a YouTuber. Please welcome Pilot Baboo, Hunter Brame.
Hi, listeners. How's it going?
How you doing, fella?
You hear that voice?
Doing good.
Are you
That
happy
to-
smooth,
Yeah,
Happy to
I got-
jump into
I
D-Day.
got that nice microphone.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
And of course, you guys know me as
D-Day,
Joe.
I've been waiting for this. I didn't
Yeah.
know how you were going to do this.
Yeah, so I didn't know how I was going to do it either. That's why it's been so long, listeners. I apologize. Since we put out an episode, I came up with an idea. Then I realized that idea was dumb. And I came up with some more ideas, and those were dumb. And so I've been just like marinating on it, but you guys are used to that. So we've got a great idea. I think this is going to be fun. We're going to do it just how we normally do, but I'm splitting up all the stuff and I'm not trying not to skip as much. We're going to go into the details. Anything we see on Wikipedia for June 1944 is fair game. And we're going to talk about it all, even random French impressionist painters who were born. We're going to talk about them. So, Hunter, you take it away. You got the first date. You have June 1st, 1944. That's where we're starting. And Hunter's got this day to tell us what happened. Make it interesting,
All right.
Hunt.
All right. June 1st, 1944.
Don't set the bar too high, please.
Yeah.
I'll try not to. Yeah, there's some of the things, like you look it up and you're like, yep, that happened. Nothing
Yeah,
really.
sometimes there's nothing much
add.
to it. Yeah.
Yeah. On June 1st, the American submarine, the USS Herring, sunk by Japanese coastal batteries on Matua Island. Nothing really special I could find out about it. It's named after a fish, as mentioned in the Monty Python films. Sailed out of Pearl Harbor in 1943 on her 6th war patrol, and then was at the Battle of Midway. And let's see, rendezvoused with Barb, a refueling ship, and
Barb?
then was sunk by
The refueling ship was named Barb.
Barb.
I love it when the ships
So,
have
all
people
right.
names.
Well, I mean, what if all the refueling ships had people names? Because then then the people could just talk about it on the radio. Hey, you're going to meet Barb this weekend? Yeah, I'm heading out to such and such, and have the coordinates coded into things. I don't know, coded into like time and date or whatever. They're going to meet Barb, so you'll know the coordinates to meet your refueling ship in the middle of the fucking ocean.
Could be. A lot of spycraft going on in World War II. A lot of sneakiness before we were able to, hide radio signals as well as we can today. We had to come up with code words. Operation Enigma, on the German side, keeping all of their
that's one of mine.
radios
Yeah.
sneaky.
The Enigma machine.
So before they were
there's the
sunk,
whole,
they
wind
sunk
connectors.
2 merchant ships, the Haburi Maru and the Iwaki Maru, that were at anchor at Matsuo Island, and then shore batteries realized there was a submarine and started just laying fire out into the surrounding ocean. Hit the tower of the submarine, and then it had sunk shortly thereafter. Also on June 1st, British troops captured, I'm going to butcher some names here, Frosinone, Italy. Not really much happening there, just British pushing up further into Italy.
I was wondering if that was pronounced Frozen One, but I have no idea. Like maybe it was a frozen town. I have no
I
idea.
don't think it was broken down like that.
I was thinking
Frosinone.
Frozone, like the character from Incredibles, but I don't think that's
Frozzone. Frozzonone.
Also began Operation Hasty, a mission behind German lines, which was the 2nd Parachute Brigade. So typical parachute invasion where they just fly over, drop a bunch of guys behind enemy lines, and then expect them to regroup and spread out. Also, shortly thereafter, Adolf Hitler dissolved the Abwehr, which is the counterintelligence office of Germany. It was so. Your list here said June 1st. I found a lot of like contradicting information. A bunch of different dates.
This is
actually dissolved.
Yeah, a lot of this is straight from Wikipedia. So over the years, people have like put things on a date. So I sometimes find
people
like,
disagree, and
they're kind of like, not really that date, but it's around that date.
So it said on February 18th, he had signed a decree that abolished the Abwehr, which was their counterintelligence office. Counterintelligence basically being opposite of espionage and spycraft. So they're trying to stop spies.
Gotcha.
Hitler had believed that the Abwehr had been infiltrated by Nazi spies, which he was right in a decent amount. There was definitely some infiltration going on there. We were definitely pulling a bunch of information through them, as well as giving them false information. And the leader of the counterintelligence office, Canaris, was executed later that year for assumed involvement in Operation Valkyrie. You know what that is?
No, I was going to
Cruise
suggest
movie?
Cruise movie.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Boy,
Yeah, banger of a movie.
Is
Spoiler:
it?
everyone dies.
that
Everyone dies except Hitler.
Yeah.
Except
No,
Hitler, of course, because it's not yet.
Yeah.
But I was going to say Operation Mincemeat. I was thinking might be, that was like an example of where they were giving misinformation out or whatever. But
Yeah,
it's interesting. Tom Cruise
speaking
movie that I
of-
won't see.
speaking of information going out across the radios, the BBC broadcasted a coded message based on the Paul Verlaine poem Chanson
Son d'Automne.
d'Automne. Yeah, there we go. To inform the French resistance that the invasion of France was imminent. The first three lines of the poem, Les sanglots longs des violins de l'automne, which is, it translates to, I'm not going to do any more French. I'm just going to read the translation. The long sobs of autumn's
En
violin.
français, s'il vous plaît.
Terrible. My French is awful, the worst. That would mean that Operation Overlord, which was the overall operation surrounding D-Day, was to start within 2 weeks. These lines were broadcast on June 1st, and then the next set of lines, wound my heart with a monotonous languor, meant that it would start within 48 hours and that the resistance should begin sabotage operations, especially on the French railroad system, which Germany was using to its advantage. And those lines were broadcast 4 days later on June 5th. So they were a little bit off. The first line saying that it would start within 2 weeks.
Mhm.
And then just 4 days later, they were like, hey, 48 hours, it's happening. Also, 2 K-class blimps, a non-rigid airship out of the U.S. Navy, completed the first transatlantic crossing from the United States of America to French Morocco in 80 hours.
80 hours over the ocean.
Guess who made the blimps? I bet you can guess.
Goodyear?
Good year.
Yeah, built by
Oh.
Goodyear.
Oh,
Yeah, still
Ohio.
making still making blimps today. Yeah, based out of Ohio.
Yep.
The U.S. Navy's experiences with K-ships in tropical regions showed a need for a blimp with a greater volume than the K-class to offset the loss of lift due to high ambient temperatures. And Goodyear addressed these concerns with a follow-up design, the M-class blimp. So they skipped over a few letters straight to M, and it was 50% larger.
Hmm.
Blimps are fun.
What if
Have you ever
we,
been
need,
in?
we need to get back to blimps.
Have you been in a blimp, Hunter?
No, there's do you know how many blimps there are in the world
11?
today?
7.
I think you're. I'm pretty sure. I want to say 8
Yeah, Price is Right rules.
blimps are there today.
Is there really only that
Oh.
many?
25.
Oh, Joe,
There's
you got it.
only 25 total blimps. So if you see a blimp,
Mm-hmm.
you've seen one
Yep.
of a few.
Yep.
Wow.
And Goodyear operates 8 of them. It looks like, which is the including the Hood blimp, the DirecTV blimp, and the MetLife blimp.
When I was a kid,
Hmm?
I was very fearful of blimps.
Really?
Why?
You see
Because
Black
just-
Sunday?
Just looking up at the sky,
This
And
ominous thing,
Right,
barely
right.
moving.
And like
An
as a kid,
ominous
you're thinking,
ovular
like,
object.
right?
Like,
It's just
that's a
I was-
spaceship.
right? You know, and
Yeah.
it took a minute to realize, like, oh, that's not a spaceship.
Yeah, they're definitely. Yeah, they're kind of creepy.
Well, I
Especially
mean,
when you
that'd
see
be
them
nice.
floating low.
There's a way they could be used for like travel, like interstate travel, like regional.
Mm-hmm.
Think if you had like blimp routes, you know.
There's a company. I believe they are also out of. Well, no, I think they're actually. I take that back. I think they're out of Florida, that is trying to revive blimp travel.
Really?
Nice.
Yeah, but it's more of a, so like your typical blimps today just kind of like lift off like a hot air balloon. These blimps would take off like an airplane. So they the envelope, which is the like air filled or gas filled structure, provides only a portion of the lift, and the rest is provided by like an airfoil, like an airplane. So it still needs a runway to take off.
It does. How
Yeah,
fast
but
does
it's
it?
like super big.
Nice.
Okay. Does it go like fast like a plane to
Yeah.
take off?
Yeah, it would
Okay.
have to create
I
to
guess it would
generate
need to, yeah.
lift.
Huh.
The
that's
flying,
crazy.
the French, the flying whales, hybrid
Nice.
airship. Yeah,
Did you guys see that video that's floating around the internet of that hot air balloon that went down, caught on fire
No.
with a bunch of people on it?
People in it?
Man.
People die?
But I
Yeah,
there's a,
yeah, they
I
crashed.
saw a thumbnail, but
straight
I did
down.
not click on it.
Yeah,
Well, that's yeah.
It's hard to know if it's AI or not, but I think it's real.
I
It's all
mean-
over TikTok, so you'll probably see it soon if you're on the TikToks.
I
The
am
ticks and
not
the
on
talks.
the TikToks.
Yeah,
the
so
ticks
you-
and the ticks and the talks that I have access to are the one that Art shared. You and Art share.
yes. Okay.
Also on June 1st, a
Yeah.
general election was held in Cuba in which Ramon Grau was elected president.
Ramon Grau.
Yeah, pretty uneventful election. He
That's
he was
nice.
taking over for the person he was taking over for on their way out. Spent the majority of Cuba's money, which he was a little
Oh.
unhappy out.
Okay.
He was a little unhappy about. And he like knew it was happening before, so it would be like, we have our election in November.
Yeah.
So like then like the president like buying a bunch of shit, pardoning a bunch of shit, and then the other person's like, well, I can't get in there till January, so
Yeah.
we'll
Spends
we'll
all the
see what
money.
happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Then Jose Maria Velasco Ibarra became president of Ecuador for the second time.
Oh.
He would become president of Ecuador 5 times.
Consecutively?
No,
Oh,
not
okay.
consecutively. He only completed 1 full term of his 5 times in the presidency. The other 4 terms, he was removed by military force, and several times he was
shit.
installed through a military coup.
Oh my
So-
gosh.
Well, that's,
Crazy Ecuador. And then finally, Robert Powell was born in Salford, Lancashire, England. And he narrated World War II in color, the docuseries on BBC.
Oh, he did?
yeah.
Oh, and he was born right before
So nice.
D-Day.
Nice, yeah, exactly. Nice tie into to World War II there.
Yeah.
That's
Robert
it.
Powell.
That's it for
That's-
June 1st.
That's what you got for June 1st. That's good. There you go. Thanks,
Yeah.
Hunter, for dipping our toe into June. And I'll pick up from June 2nd, which is a Friday, when Allied forces overran the Caesar Sea Line south of Rome. Adolf Hitler ordered Albert Kesselring to abandon the Italian capital at this point. So, being a dumb guy who doesn't know anything about World War II or wars in general, I was like, what's the Caesar Sea Line? So I had to look that up on Wikipedia, and that was the last German line of defense in Italy before Rome during the Italian campaign of World War II. And Kesselring, who Hitler ordered to abandon the Italian capital, his career spanned both wars. He was one of Nazi Germany's most highly decorated commanders, and he died in 1960 in a hospital, and he died of a heart attack. So he didn't die in the war at all. And then so I looked up, during the war, once it was over, he was on trial for war crimes, and he was sentenced to death by firing squad in war crime trials. But the Italian government refused to carry out the death sentence, as the death penalty had been abolished in Italy in 1944 and was regarded as a relic of Mussolini's fascist regime. So they're like, we're no better than him if we kill him. So the death verdict against Kesselring generated outrage in the UK, where Kesselring was viewed sympathetically by his former foes, including the former Prime Minister Winston Churchill and Commander Harold Alexander, who both sent a telegram to Prime Minister Clement Attlee in which they expressed hope that Kesselring's sentence would be commuted. To quote Harold Alexander, he said, he was my old opponent on the battlefield. I have no complaints against him. Kesselring and his soldiers fought against us hard but clean. Now that's a quote about a Nazi whose whole thing was committing genocide. That was crazy to me. That
Not all of them,
no,
Some
Isn't
are
that
just
the whole point
soldiers
of the Nazis?
taking orders.
just taking orders. Yeah,
Well, yeah, that
yeah.
like that's yeah, no,
That's the whole thing of it, right?
The clone
Doesn't
troopers weren't
excuse it,
bad
but that's
guys.
definitely
Yeah.
like, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like
Yeah.
the clone troopers in Order 66. Are they
Are
And
they the
then
bad guys?
that's anybody in war, like
Any war.
that. You have like people
Yeah.
who are dicks, but then you also have the people who are like even now, like sure, it's like a conscious thing. But like a lot of these ICE agents,
Yeah.
they're out here, they're doing this, but that they're basically just following orders. A few good men, it's
Right.
it's a dramatization,
Well, I
but
mean, yeah, and
these two soldiers were just following their general's orders. Sure, they got court-martialed in the end. Spoiler, but
well,
they
that
were
was the
military.
that was the thing. You were supposed the lesson of the movie or that morality play
Mhm.
was you're supposed to defy orders when orders are too
Given
far.
right.
Right.
So the ethos of the Nazi party should have been enough to get a good person to leave their post and join the other side.
Well, what are we watching? We're watching. Well, no, Joe.
We're not watching anything.
Joe's seen
We're
Rogue
recording a
One.
podcast. What?
He's seen right,
Yeah,
but you were
I'm
just talking
watching
about
you.
You were just talking about
I'm
Andor.
watching
Oh,
all
oh,
of
we're
this.
talking about Andor. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then
Yeah.
there's Urso. He was trying to get the plan to the Death Star to the rebellion.
Yes.
But he was also working with the rebellion.
Right.
So
Yeah, yeah.
he was doing his due
Well,
diligence
yeah.
to
It was
Well,
out
now we've mentioned 2 Tom Cruise
some
movies
Nazis.
already, and we're only 2 days in. So now
Um,
this podcast is going to change now to the Tom Cruise analogy podcasts.
as much as people love to hate on Tom Cruise does make some good blockbusters.
yeah.
He wasn't
I
my
cannot.
favorite outsider.
I can already tell you I'm going to mention another one later.
Oh God, please, please be Rain Man, please, please be Rain
No,
Man.
it's not Rain Man.
And
All the
please
right
be the
moves.
scene when he farts in the phone booth.
Top Gun.
Okay, we'll
Banger.
move on. We'll be a surprise. Okay. Also on June 2nd, it was the first mission of Operation Frantic, and this one was Frantic Joe. It was a shuttle raid from Italy to Russia by the 15th Air Force. So I looked up Operation Frantic. What the hell's that? It was a series of 7 shuttle bombing operations during World War II conducted by American aircraft based in Great Britain and southern Italy. And they landed at 3 Soviet airfields in the Ukrainian SSR. From there, the planes flew bombing missions en route back to their bases in Italy and Great Britain. So this was the first mission of that series. And Frantic was meant to open up new German-held areas of Europe to strategic bombing by the U.S. Army Air Forces, but saw mixed results, with German leadership perceiving the operation as an American propaganda campaign to impress the Soviets. Frantic also highlighted significant tensions between the Western Allies and the Soviet Union, which proved both unfamiliar with and unfriendly to hosting foreign aircraft for joint operations. After its 7th bombing mission in mid-September 1944, Frantic was discontinued. So there you go. I'm learning about World War II. That same day, representatives of the Soviet Union and Romania secretly met in Stockholm to discover conditions for Romania's withdrawal from the war. And also the same day, the Soham rail disaster occurred in the small town of Soham, Cambridgeshire, England, when the cargo of an ammunition train exploded and killed 2 people. So that happened when a fire developed on the leading wagon of the heavy ammunition train. The wagon contained a quantity of high explosive bombs. The train crew had detached the wagon from the rest of the train and were drawing it away when the cargo exploded. The fireman of the train and the signalman at Soham signal box were both killed, and several other people were injured. The driver, Benjamin Gimbert, and fireman James Nighthall were both awarded the George Cross for preventing further damage which could have occurred if the rest of the train had exploded. So good thing they did that. And we have another birthday.
Birthday.
Composer and conductor Marvin Hamlisch was born in New York City on this day. Marvin Hamlisch, who died in August of 2012, was an American composer and conductor. He is one of a handful of people to win Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, and Tony. That is dubbed the
EGOT.
EGOT.
EGOT. Yes.
EGOT.
Yep. He and composer Richard Rodgers are the only people to have won those prizes and a Pulitzer Prize, a PEGOT. So they're PEGOTs. So there you go. I didn't know Marvin Hamlisch was that accomplished. I always thought he was just like a funny reference when you talk about Barbra Streisand. So I didn't really know anything about him. So I looked up his early life. He was born in Manhattan to uh, parents Lily and Max Hamlisch. His father was an accordionist and band leader. He was, and Max, or Marvin, sorry, Marvin was a child prodigy. By age 5, he began mimicking the piano music he heard on the radio. A few months before he turned 7, in 1951, he was accepted into what is now the Juilliard School pre-college division. At 7, he was accepted into Juilliard. His favorite musicals growing up were My Fair Lady, Gypsy, West Side Story, and Bye Bye Birdie. Marvin Hamlisch attended the Professional Children's School in Manhattan. Notable alumni of the children's school include Phoebe Cates, Yo-Yo Ma, Christian Slater, two Culkins, Ricky Lake, Carol Kane, and Hunts Hall, my great uncle from the Bowery
Which
Boys.
Calkins?
Nice.
Macaulay and who's the big one now? The big famous one.
Kieran?
Kieran, yeah. Martha Plimpton and Scarlett Johansson, Nerd School's own. Scarlett Johansson, frequent guest on Nerd School. Okay, she's not a guest. She's been mentioned. Someday she'll be a guest. She and Deborah Jo Rupp will come on. Anyway, yeah, Hamlisch did have a bunch of stuff with Barbra Streisand. He won, let's see, Academy Awards for music for The Sting, The Way We Were, The Spy Who Loved Me, Brooklyn Bridge, a lot of Barbra Streisand stuff. Let's see, I'm trying to see what Emmys he won. Oh, Golden Globes. God, he won a bunch of Golden Globes. He won Grammys for The Way We Were, The Entertainer, Tony Awards for a chorus line. And now let's quickly talk about his personal life and sadly, his death. He had relationships with lyricist Carol Bayer Sager, inspired the musical They're Playing Our Song. He was also in a relationship with actress Emma Sams. We know her. He was in a relationship with television personality Cindy Garvey after her breakup with her husband Steve Garvey. So he stole Steve Garvey's wife.
What?
Yeah. And then in May of 1989, he married Tara Blair from Columbus, Ohio, who was the weather and news anchor for that city's ABC affiliate, WSYX. Their marriage lasted until his death. He's dead. And also on the same
Do you
day.
remember Terry Blair?
I don't. Do you?
No. I mean, I just assuming
not from
because
Ohio?
you're from Ohio. I didn't know if. Yeah.
Yeah. No. Columbus wasn't local to me and Steve. Plus,
No.
yeah, we're idiots. Well, I'll speak for myself.
You didn't
Yeah.
watch the Weather Channel?
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
we didn't watch Columbus local.
Yeah. But on that same day, June 2nd, Benoit Bruchot died. He was 64 years old. He was a French anarchist. So I looked him up just to see who was this guy. He was a French anarchist, and he was also an anarcho-syndicalist, which I've never heard of that term.
No.
So I was like, what the fuck is a syndicalist? And syndicalism is a revolutionary labor movement that advocates for worker control of the means of production through industrial unions. It aims to abolish capitalism and replace it with a society organized around worker-owned and managed industries.
So Marxist adjacent.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
Yeah.
so syndicalism maybe is the answer for all of us. Maybe not. But this guy was known for his activism in the French trade union movement. He was born in Essertin, France, and worked in various industries, including mining and construction. He was actively involved in those anarchist and syndicalist circles, contributed to anarchist publications, and facing numerous arrests and imprisonments for his activism. So there you go. That guy's dead at this point. And then that same day, the last thing I have for June 2nd, I'm gonna, again butchering this. Zamalek, an Egyptian football team, beat Ali team, AHLY, Ali. They beat them 6-0 in the King's Cup final games. And yes, I asked AI, did that really happen? And AI said, Yes, I didn't mean to ask AI. I tried to Google it, and now Google makes you use AI. It said, yes, Zamalek beat Al Ali 6-0 in the 1944 Egypt Cup final. This match is notable, AI tells me, as it represents the largest winning margin in the history of the Cairo Derby, the intense
I was going to
rivalry
say that's a
between the two
blowout.
clubs. Yeah,
Really?
6-0's huge. Yeah, when those guys were rivals, I guess. And the goals for Zamalek were scored by Zaklat, which, if you know soccer, I guess that's a hat trick. It's called a Zaklat, or Egyptian soccer is. Mohsen El Sahaimi had
All
2
right.
goals, and Abdel Karim Sekir, uh, I think he scored 2. I guess this was he was the other one. He scored the other
Well,
2 goals. Yeah,
in soccer and
yeah.
hockey, anytime you score 3 goals, it's a hat trick.
Anytime
So it's not
one
just
person has to
yeah.
score
Anytime
them,
one
right?
person, yeah.
Yeah, it's got to be one person. So
One person,
Yeah,
right?
one person.
okay, so those 2 guys each scored a hat trick, I guess, which is the 6, 3 and 3, right? This was the second time in 2 years that Zamalek achieved a 6-0 victory against Al Ali, following a win in the 1941-42 Cairo League match. And this 1944 final was attended by King Farouk I. After the match, Zamalek was even renamed Farouk after the king. Boom.
Do you know why it's called a hat trick?
Because when you take off your hat, there's usually 3 pieces of lice in the hat.
Where's this
I don't
going?
know.
I'm
No,
excited to see where you go with
No, I
this.
have no. I know why is it called a hat trick?
It's from cricket, and
Okay.
when
Ooh, it's great.
when a bowler would get 3 consecutive wickets with 3 balls, they got a hat. They literally gave them a hat.
Like a hat was a prize.
Yep.
Nice.
It is a hat trick. I love
So
that.
what's
See?
a sticky wicket?
Oh yeah, what is a sticky
No
wicket?
clue.
Oh,
No
damn
clue.
it! Come on, Hunter.
I don't know
that
any.
tough-
I don't know anything about.
And
Well,
then
it's a
and
tough-
here's,
Cricket
here's another
confuses.
hat for you.
You don't
Here's
know.
another hat for you.
Oh,
in
yeah.
baseball,
Yeah.
when you strike out 4 times, you get a golden sombrero.
Really?
Yes.
Is it like an
I'll go-
actual? Somebody hands you a real hat?
That would be awesome. You go back because, like,
That's
now
just what they
have-
call it.
Nowadays, when you hit a home run, most baseball teams have some sort of ritual they do once you go back to the dugout. It'd be
Yeah.
cool if, like, it wouldn't be cool because it'd be like you fucking struck out 4 times. But if you struck out 4 times, you walk back to the dugout,
Yeah.
they hand you a golden sombrero.
It would
You gotta-
kind of like alleviate some of the like the stress of the moment. Like, oh,
Yeah.
like I'm doing
Oh.
awful, but you're walking back and your team's just ready with that hat. They're like,
Yeah, you have to
we
wear
got
it. Then
you."
lighten the mood a little bit. Then they tickle you.
Yeah.
They tickle you around the bases.
Yeah.
But
So
then
maybe-
also,
maybe it's
there's also if you do it 5 times, you get what's called a platinum sombrero or Olympic rings, which it's I don't want to say it's hard to do, but there's some people out there who they get a little happy up there.
Like
I would
5
say it's
times in
hard.
one game?
I would say,
one-
yeah.
one-
it's-
That,
I would think it
that's
is
like
hard
you're
because sometimes
run-
you don't get up 5 times in a game.
Yeah, you're running through the order, man.
Yeah, you can get up. This if you
I don't
at the top
fucking
of
watch
the
babe.
if you're at
My
the top of the
baseball
order,
knowledge is TV. Is
you can
movies.
get up 5 times easy.
Major League is
Yeah, dude.
Steve's baseball knowledge.
Yeah,
That's a great movie, by the way.
it is.
Well,
Major League, Bull Durham.
let's
So
jump
over
into
the
June
game.
3rd, where Art's going to take over and
Yeah.
tell us all about Saturday. What happened on June 3rd,
Which
1944?
which you kind of took the sting out of my day. But it
Well-
helped me.
What, because of the Farouk?
No. All right, so June 3rd, 1944. Have the Allies dropped 8,000 tons of bombs in a raid on German coastal positions around Boulogne. And Boulogne is a coastal city, and this is according to Wikipedia.
Okay, yeah.
Is a coastal city in northern France. It is a sub-prefecture of the department of Pas-de-Calais. Boulogne lies on the Côte d'Opale, a touristic stretch of the French coast on the English Channel between Calais and Normandy, and the most visited location in the region after the Lille conurbation. I don't even know what I didn't even think to look up
Yeah.
conurbation. I don't
Yeah.
know how I glossed over that because that looked like something I need to know.
Yeah.
Uh, let's see. Boulogne is in its department's second largest city after Calais and 138 largest in France. It is also the country's largest fishing port, specializing in herring.
Oh, herring.
Ooh, herring,
Delicious herring.
like in the Monty Python movies.
There we go.
U.S. Okay.
Callback.
Also have U.S. troops took Albano and Frascati on the outskirts of Rome, while Canadian forces. Why did that sound wrong? Canadian forces took Agnagi. I don't know. I don't.
Zananagini.
Yeah, we're all novices here on pronouncing all this stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
So this is where you screwed the pooch for me, Joe.
Yeah.
Kesselring declared Rome an open city. I
Oh.
went and got like you said. You know who he was.
Oh,
I
yeah.
went and got a bio for him and everything.
Oh no. Do you have anything to add that I missed?
Just
That's
that
why
he
you were
was
making all
school
that
colors.
noise.
he was General Field Marshal, as they would say,
Okay.
which is a field marshal. And he was Nazi Germany, one of Nazi Germany's most highly decorated commanders.
hmm
You've already said he was a convicted war criminal
Yeah.
who served the Luftwaffe and during World War II. All right. So on June 3rd, and I got this from National WW2 Museum.org.
Ooh, there we go.
On June 3rd, 1944, General Field Marshal Albert Kesselring, commanding Army Group C, declared Rome an open city. He ordered his forces to break contact and withdraw north of the city. Some German units, however, remained to contest Rome's suburbs as American units advanced. After fighting through German defenses during the night of June 4th through the 5th, elements of 5 American infantry divisions, the 3rd, 34th, 36th, 85th, and 88th, the 1st Armored Division, and the U.S. Canadian 1st Special Service Force advanced through Rome. The city was officially at the hands of the 5th Army by June 5th, and the throngs of ecstatic Romans filled the streets to welcome columns of American soldiers that day. Major elements of 5th Army continued their advance through the city to engage German units along a 20-mile front on the Tiber River.
Okay.
This purple is killing my eyes.
So they were happy to see him.
Right.
Yeah. The Pope gave a speech, not to dig into my stuff on June 5th, but the Pope even came out and was like, "Hey, everybody, thanks for not tearing our city down."
Yeah, I got a little bit of that.
German submarine U-477 was depth charged and sunk in the Norwegian Sea by a PBY Catalina of number 162 Squadron, RCAF. The provisional government of the French Republic was created, succeeding the French Committee of National Liberation as the provisional government of Free France. Bounding Home won the Belmont Stakes, depriving Pensive of the U.S. Triple Crown.
Oh, what a jerk.
Bring him bounding
Belmont
home.
Stakes is the third leg of the race held at Belmont Park in Elmont, New York.
Okay.
The first leg is in Louisville, Kentucky, at Churchill Downs. And second leg is in Baltimore. Shout out to Baltimore.
Baltimore.
At Pimlico Racetrack.
That'd be like if Justin Rose won the Masters this year. Everyone would have just been like, "You jerk." Rory could have had it.
Son of a bitch.
Bounding Home could have had it. He was so close.
Well, it was Pensive was robbed, right? Bounding Home stole it from Pensive.
No. Oh, wait, yeah. Okay, yeah. Pensive could have had it.
But so is that what happens in golf? Like everybody starts rooting for whoever's about to make the big feat, like the three-peat or whatever.
Yeah. Justin Rose in his post round interview, it was like, I would have really liked to be the bad guy today, but he was like, he was very humble about his loss. He was very happy for Rory.
Well, that's good.
I don't know if you guys are golf fans, but
No,
I was happy too.
were you?
I was. I was very happy.
I would.
Rory's a great guy.
My.
We found out later that he might have cheated, but it's
What? That's not a good
yeah,
guy.
his driver that he's been using got disqualified at a later tournament.
Too much pine tar.
What?
Like
I don't
George
know.
Brett?
We don't know what it was.
He
I would
ran
imagine
out-
it was.
he
It was
ran out
probably
on the green.
Yeah.
possibly the weighting or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a George Brett joke that would
Like,
go over Hunter's head. He wasn't born yet, probably. But anyway, yeah, I would rather probably scoop out my own eyeballs with my bare hands and watch golf. No offense to the golf fans here, but my
Brother.
grandma used to watch golf, and she drew on her eyebrows. My dad's mom, Grandma Hart, she talked like this. She
Grandma
said,
Hart.
"Grandma's babies, come here, give Grandma smooches." And she would kiss your
I
cheek.
love that you're saying this like with your shirt off. Like,
Yeah, I have my shirt. Well, the listeners don't know I have my shirt off.
Yeah.
And she would kiss
Well,
your
now they
cheek.
do.
It would hurt. It would hurt your cheek. She's like the suction from her kiss hurt so
she's
bad.
like biting
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
No, just like she would pucker up so tight as an old woman. She'd go, and it hurt. And then she would smoke cigarettes and watch golf, and you had to sit there and watch her watch golf. Anyway,
Sure, she still didn't have the cigarette in her mouth. That
I
was
don't
what
think
was
so.
her-
Maybe it was what hurt. It burned like she did. Okay. Anyway, that's horse racing for you. Back to Artstar.
All right. Okay. Asperger syndrome was identified for the first time in a paper by the Austrian pediatrician Hans Asperger.
No, that's pediatrician, I think.
Oh,
Pediatrician. Yeah.
I
Podiatrist.
was like, a
podiatrist?
Is a foot person.
Yeah.
his feet doctor.
That's what I was. Same thing. I was
Foot
like,
doctor.
what does that have to do with feet?
Like a podiatrist found Asperger's.
I was looking at that. I'm telling you, this purple is killing me.
Yeah, sorry.
Like there was certain parts I had to go in and I had to highlight it
Yeah, you
and
can
switch
change
it
it.
up. Yeah, because I'm like, this is so much purple.
Sorry, yeah, it is. Yeah.
So it's a diagnostic label that has been historically been used to describe a neurodevelopmental disorder characterized by significant difficulties in social interaction and nonverbal communication, along with restricted, repetitive patterns of behavior and interest. This comes directly from Wikipedia.
Yeah, so that's the mild, used to be known as like the mild autism, like high functioning autism
Right.
was Asperger's. But I didn't know it was this old in the 40s because I was kind of in this field for a while. And yeah, most people that just have
Well, it was named in the
Yeah.
he was hold on, let me see. Well, the syndrome was named in 1976 by English psychiatrist Lorna. I was about to say physiatrist, but like, yeah, Lorna Wing, she named it after him.
Gotcha. Yeah, so they didn't. Yeah, I would see the 70s more identified it. That makes sense.
Because in 1944, he described children in his care who struggled to form friendships, did not understand others' gestures or feelings, engaged in one-sided conversations about their favorite interests, and were clumsy.
Mm-hmm. That's just it. Autism and all this stuff and Asperger's has been around forever. We just
Mhm.
didn't diagnose it till
Right.
and figure out that it was different. Oh, that guy's not just different or off. He has a thing that we have a name for.
Don't tell RFK that.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
government experimentation through vaccines.
Yeah, it's all because of vaccines. No, it's always been there. So has everything else. So everyone
Okay,
needs to
guys,
stop being
Germs
so
weren't
afraid.
invented; they were manifested.
I mean, people were
I got one
trans,
more
people were
before Steve
gay.
can come up.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead. Sorry. Jumping in.
All right. So I got a sports one. The sports one. Sports ball, as TVJ would say.
Art's gonna throw us in the sports world. Back into it, I guess.
Edith McGuire, Olympic gold medalist and sprinter from Atlanta, Georgia.
Ooh.
She ran for Tennessee State University. Again, Wikipedia. TSU had a very successful women's sprinting team. the Tiger Bellies in the 1960s, including triple Olympic champions Wilma Rudolph. Wow, that's a weird name. Wyomia Tyus and Edith McGuire. Although McGuire's running career was short, she won 6 AAU titles in 3 different events. Her specialty, however, was the 200 meters, and I don't know what the 220 Y is. Is that 220 yards?
Maybe.
In which she was, in which she was 4 of her 6, in which she won 4 of her 6 national titles. In 1964, she was undefeated in her favorite event and went to Tokyo as the main contender for the 200-meter gold medal at the 1964 Summer Olympics. McGuire first competed in the 100-meter in Japan and lost out in the final to teammate Tyus. But in the 200-meter final, she held off Poland's Irina Kurzenstein to take the gold medal. She had a 3rd medal to her tally as a member of the American 4x100-meter relay team, which placed 2nd to Poland. Edith McGuire ended her athletic career in 1965 and became a teacher. In 1980, she was inducted into the Georgia Sports Hall of Fame. At present, she owns a number of fast food restaurants in Oakland, California, together with her husband, Charles Duvall. And as a shout out to Joe, notable alumni of Tennessee State University, the aforementioned Wilma Rudolph, basketball player Alvin Williams, and none other than the big O herself, Oprah.
She went to Tennessee. You said Tennessee State?
Not even going to get to the notable alumni I have.
And the mascot is Aristocrat the Tiger.
Was a tiger. Because I thought you said Tiger Bellies. Did you call them the Tiger?
The Tiger.
What's the you know what they do to the lady? They'd be like, oh, the name of the team is the Mustang. Oh, we'll call this team the Lady Stags. You know,
the lady. I see. It's like the lady version, the Tiger Bellies.
And it's the 60s.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Everybody's high on PCP.
And before we get
too far away from Joe's, I looked up the tons of bombs in that first raid, 8,000.
Yeah,
I love the numbers of World War II, and that's nuts. Not to bring up maybe some stressful current events, but in our raid that we completed on was that Saturday night?
Yeah,
only 225 tons of bombs dropped in that raid. But in one raid, 8,000 tons of bombs. That's a lot of bombs.
Yeah,
that's a lot of bombs.
That's just like everything around you just turns into the moon.
Yeah, it's just dust.
It's like dropping bombs on your moms. Fuck Carl.
And then also that plane you mentioned sunk by the that U-boat, or that sunk the U-boat.
Yeah,
seaplane.
Seaplane.
Seaplane, one of my favorite kinds of planes.
Nice.
Boat and plane combined.
Yeah.
Seaplane, boat and plane. Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thanks, Art. Thanks for telling us about Saturday.
Yeah, dude.
I think it's time to
Saturday.
jump to Sunday.
Well,
June 4th.
The Lord's Day.
Yeah, Gruff's going to take over the Lord's Day. It's just fitting that the Lord's Day goes to Steve because he's a big church guy.
I'm ordained.
Yeah, you are ordained. Yeah.
I am ordained. I know a lot about that religion shit.
Yeah.
June 4th, 1944. A Sunday. The Italian capital of Rome fell to the Allies. There was little fighting in the city itself as American tanks rolled along the Appian Way. The Germans ignored Hitler's order to blow up the Tiber bridges before retreating, and the city's historic sites were left intact. Hope was stoked as lawyer. The Royal Air Force meteorologist group Captain James Stagg recommended that Overlord be postponed one day from June 5th to the 6th because of bad weather.
D-Day was
Dwight
postponed?
D. Eisenhower. Yeah, bad weather, called on weather.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, It's
Rain
the
delay.
Lord's Day.
Yeah.
The Lord said, give it a sec.
Yeah.
Monday's not a good day for war.
I guess so.
Tuesday.
Everyone, it's everyone just had a
Tuesday.
weekend.
Yeah.
We
You wanna
got
get-
like not on
it's
Monday.
just not
Tuesday.
really fair. It's not fair. You're just getting back into the groove of things. That's why I
Yeah.
refer to Tuesday as Doomsday.
Okay.
No, that's not at all. It's just
That's not at all
Hey,
why.
No, it was a song that I heard that made me laugh
Ha.
by Monster Magnet. I was talking about Doomsday, and I thought, why do they keep saying Tuesday? Dwight D. Eisenhower followed his advice and postponed D-Day by 24 hours. German submarine U-505 was captured off Rio de Oro by ships of the U.S. Navy. The sub's code books, Enigma machine, and other secret materials found on board would be of assistance to Allied code breakers. Yes, codes.
Was that the one from the movie?
Yeah. Well, I mean, the machine was the machine they built to break those.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but I mean the submarine movie.
yeah. Well, no,
Matthew
was that
McConaughey.
505?
Hold on.
U-boat
Google machine.
571?
Yeah. I don't think it's 505.
No.
Yeah,
There was-
it's 571.
Is
Yeah.
it 571?
McConaughey and Paxton
All right.
and
all
John
right,
Bon
all
Jovi
right.
What?
Ooh.
taking
John
a
Bon-
swing at his acting career.
Hey, not the first time for John Bon Jovi.
Make like a high, make a McConaughey high. McConaughey.
No, John Bon Jovi.
All right.
All right, all right. Be a lot cooler if you did. Or if you were, whatever it was.
That's a good
Anyway,
one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No apologies.
Go ahead,
I think
you
we should, all,
tattoo.
we should no, we should all take a second for McConaughey.
Yeah,
Everyone do your what's everyone's best McConaughey? You first start.
I don't know if I have a McConaughey.
No, come
All
on.
I got
man.
is all right, all right, all right. That's all I got.
Hey, that's it. That's all you need, baby.
It's got to be a
Yeah.
Buick. Isn't that Buick commercial he does?
Mhm. Mhm. I don't know. That's not going to come through well on audio, but
No, that
It'll
won't
be
make
fine.
sense. Yeah,
that's just for you guys.
that's for
And
us.
we appreciate it. That was for us. And last but not least, born on this day, June 4th, 1944, Michelle Phillips, singer, songwriter, actress, and member of the Mamas and the Papas in Long Beach, California.
Not the mamas
Okay.
and the papas.
Yeah, she was born there, and
California dreaming.
Yeah, yup.
California dreaming.
But skipping
That's not
through
how
all
that
her-
song goes at all.
No, yeah.
Stopping to a church
Is that it?
along the way. Yeah,
There you go. There you go.
California dreaming on such a winter's day. I'm not very
Yeah.
good at singing.
That was solid. We appreciate
Thanks.
it. You saved it.
Now, isn't that
Yeah,
is that Wilson Phillips' mom or not? She's not related.
Yeah, China Phillips' mom.
Yeah,
Yeah, Michelle Phillips.
John Phillips. Yeah, married John
Uh,
Phillips. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
John Phillips,
yeah.
Sousa Phillips.
she was 18.
Oh, she is.
Graduated from Eagle Rock High School.
Okay.
School colors, green,
Ooh.
gray, and white.
Yes.
Nicknamed the Eagles.
Ah,
Rival,
Eagles.
Franklin High School.
Oh.
Newspaper, Eagles Scream. Yearbook, The Totem. I'm not going
Yes.
to bother with notable alumni.
There's no
'cause-
notable alumni?
No, Oprah. No, there are a lot, but none of them are fucking Oprah. So why would I?
I want to hear it.
Why the fuck would I
I want
bother?
to hear.
Why would I bother
knocked
with
it out the park with
Conrad
Oprah.
Buff?
It's not.
the
It's not a
Fourth?
competition. There's no
All right,
topping.
all right, all right. Do you want all of them, or do you just want a smattering?
Just your
Give
favorites.
us your best.
Top
Give
three.
us what you got.
Conrad Buff the Fourth, Oscar winning film co-editor of Titanic, 1997, co-editor Terminator 2, 1990, Judgment
The
Day,
best
1991.
Terminator.
Yeah.
Yes, agreed. Who's another one? I really don't know anything besides the name. Jerry H. Lips, born 1939, scientist. I don't want to look it up. I'd rather just leave it to the listeners' imaginations of what
Who Jerry
Jerry-
Lips is?
Jerry Lips, scientist, graduate of Eagle Rock High School. Twee St. George Tucker, composer. That's it. Well, that's not it, but Min Tai,
Shia LaBeouf.
former. No, not is Shia LaBeouf one?
You gotta say
We're talking
Shia
about
LaBeouf.
Alexander Hamilton High School. Is that what we're talking about?
No, Eagle
Oh,
Rock
wait.
High School.
Wait,
Eagle Rock High
who-
School.
How did I find this one? Whose
I
high
don't
school
know.
is this?
Shia LaBeouf's, I heard.
Wikipedia, you did me wrong.
Roger Bobo. Roger Bobo.
She attended several high schools in the LA
No,
area.
she did.
Oh, that's why. Yeah.
That's why I just jumped to the one she graduated from.
Yeah,
'Cause she
yeah,
got
see?
expelled. She
Okay.
got expelled from skipping school too many from the one previous to this one.
Oh,
Okay.
right.
They
Okay.
shifted and moved around. She was very mobile. She was very mobile for a bit.
Also-
Yeah,
Still
so you
kept
went to
Spanish as her
Cable.
primary language.
Also went
Yeah, I
to
just went
John
right to the
Marshall
end.
High School.
Yeah.
Yeah, she went to several schools here. I see.
Yeah. But like you said, we wanted to keep it within reason, so I just went to the one she graduated.
Yeah, that's
from.
okay. Nobody's expecting
And-
you to give all the alumni and mascots for multiple schools. She
Andy
bounced
Reid
around.
at
That's
one
not
of her
your
other
fault.
schools.
Well, I mean but luckily Hunter's here
Yeah,
to pick up that slack.
I'm
pick up
fast
that
on I'm
slack.
fast on the Wikipedia.
it's fast
That's
on the
fine,
Google
dude.
machines. And that's June 4th, right?
Yeah, that was
That-
it. That was
you
June
got-
4th.
yeah.
Yeah.
You got a mascot going. That was good. And that brings us to Monday, June 5th. Hunter, you want to take that one away? We got time to get to June 5th?
I can.
Let's
Yeah,
do
we got
it.
15 minutes. I'll try
Yeah.
and go a little bit faster.
Yeah.
June 5th started Operation Forager. It was the part of the larger Mariana and Palau Islands campaign via the Fifth Fleet, commanded by Admiral Raymond A. Spruance. I love the numbers of World War II.
Yeah.
And the Fifth Fleet contained 15 carriers, 7 battleships, 11 cruisers, 86 destroyers, and over 900 planes, and an amphibious invasion force consisting of 56 attack transports, 84 landing craft, and over 127,000 troops.
Holy cow.
A solid, what is
That's
that, like
yeah.
SoFi Stadium size?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine that just slowly arriving,
Just like, it's coming at you.
Yeah. Yeah. just going out.
Yeah. Also, Operation Matterhorn began. It was a attack on Bangkok from airfields in India against the Japanese railroad facilities. This was also the first B-29 Superfortress combat mission. The B-29 notable for being those that dropped the atomic bombs,
Ooh.
and successor to the, I believe, the B-17 bombers, and would later be succeeded by the B-52 Boeing
Lobsters.
nuclear. Yeah.
Rock lobster.
When I was looking up the B-52s, they're often not referred to as as the B-52. They're often referred to as the Buff, the BUFF, also known as the Big Ugly Fat Fucker.
Yes,
fucking
that's
love
great.
military acronyms.
Yeah.
Also, the Battle of Anzio ended after 136 days in an Allied victory. It initially started with 36,000 men, 2,300 vehicles, and 2,700 aircraft.
Oh my gosh.
And by breakout, which looking at most of these battles, they have initial numbers and then breakout numbers. I'm not sure exactly where the breakout point is, but I'm imagining that's the peak. The breakout was 150,000 soldiers and 1,500 guns, which I'm assuming are like long guns, like
Mhm.
howitzers, stuff like that. I don't think 150,000 soldiers only had 1,500 guns amongst
Yeah,
them.
I don't think they counted those guns probably. Yeah.
Yeah. Then Rome was declared an open city. We're getting to the end of that. Like I said earlier, the Pope Pius XII spoke to crowds at St. Peter's Basilica, giving thanks to God and all belligerents for largely sparing Rome from destruction. So he was like, "Hey guys, thanks for not blowing up our city. We appreciate that." Let's see.
So is belligerent just not being a non-religious guy? Is that just a term for non-religious people?
I
We're all
think so.
belligerents.
Yeah, I think so.
Steve, you belligerent.
Ruffian.
I thought they were lay people. Maybe, yeah.
King Victor Emmanuel III of Italy. So Italy still had a king, even though Mussolini was doing all his stuff. He was the prime minister, so they still had a king, kind of like the UK. Like they have their
Like
monarch,
a ceremonial king.
yeah, exactly, figurehead. Transferred all of his remaining constitutional powers to his son Umberto. So with Rome being captured, Italy's kind of like, all right, like, sorry guys, hands up, we're done. And so the king, after signing armistice with the Allies were like, hey, like, you're kind of done. We need you to transfer your power to your son, and we'll work with him, and we'll figure things out from here. He declared war on Germany later in October, and while he clashed constantly with the Allied command, he was chill with giving his powers to his son in June, effectively ending his involvement in the war and in the government of Italy. He officially abdicated his throne in 1946 in favor of his son, who became King Umberto II. And then the President Franklin D. Roosevelt gave a fireside chat on the fall of Rome. Quote, "The first of the Axis capitals is now in our hands," Roosevelt said. "One up and two to go."
So I have a question real quick.
Sure.
Yeah.
So do you guys pronounce it Roosevelt or Roosevelt?
Roosevelt. Yeah. Is that a white people thing?
No. Maybe I should have said you guys. Maybe I should have said.
You say you guys and the other three guys.
That guy's called Roosevelt, motherfucker.
Well, it's like, like some people go Roosevelt. They'll say
Roosevelt.
President Roosevelt instead of Roosevelt.
I mean, that's how it's spelled for sure. There's two O's there.
I always say
you ain't wrong.
Roosevelt too, but I do wonder.
It's like when you hear someone say
Roosevelt
roof instead of roof.
Yeah, some people say
Roof.
The roof is on.
The roof is on fire.
The roof, or pillow. When people don't say pillow and milk. You spilled milk on my pillow.
But then these would be the same people that quickly say like, "Oh, you have an accent. I can tell you from Baltimore."
I only just pick up the T.
Let me get a hot dog.
I feel like
you want a hot dog? Yeah, hot dog. I'm like, okay. And I said, how many you want? One or two? You said two. You from Baltimore. You just said dog. What the hell you talking about?
No clue where that went.
I'm sorry.
I was with him on that one. We've talked at length about that. Yeah.
I would imagine though someone from outside of the U.S. learning English as a second language, if you were to show them the name Roosevelt, they would probably say Roosevelt.
Yeah, I could say British.
AI would pronounce it Roosevelt.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
No, they say aluminium. They don't say Roosevelt.
Yeah, aluminium. Yeah.
And this would be his second to last fireside chat. We need to do fireside chats again.
Yeah,
really?
We need
fireside
chats.
Fireside chats. Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
I want to hear. Tell me what you're.
God.
Tell me what you're thinking.
Just have him sitting in front of a fire, eating food and drinking, just like hanging out.
Well, most of the fireside chats weren't actually fireside. They were just at his desk.
Yeah,
just chilling.
Well, weren't a lot of them when they have to tell you about awful wars?
And who you want to give this chat?
Not all of them. No,
DJ?
Who do you want to give this chat?
DJ.
I mean, it's got to be. It's got to be the prez.
The guy who said
presidential thing.
I don't want to talk to you.
DJ
I was
T.
talking to him. You're rude. Get it, like, sit down. I want to talk to him.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you're rude.
But-
CNN should fire you. Get out.
Yeah.
A lot of them seemed like they were just like explanations, explanations to the American people
Talking
of
people
like,
what was happening,
what's going on.
Yeah.
Like on Sunday, September 6th, 1936,
this is what we're doing
on drought conditions, farmers and laborers.
Yeah,
So
they
just
did,
like, okay, what's going on the farms?
Yeah. I know Jimmy Carter did a bunch of them too, I think, in the
yeah.
70s.
Well, I guess
Mace-
now maybe they use the State of the Union as like their.
Yeah, but we only get one of those. We only get that once a year.
Well, now
Yeah,
we have Twitter.
Twitter
though.
for that.
were
Like,
like,
they
Yeah.
tweet
These were like-
Truth Social.
Now
and all
we have
that.
his twats.
What?
He's twatted.
Yeah, nobody watched.
but yeah,
it anyway.
this was his second to last one, and the final one would be on opening the Fifth War Loan Drive on June 12th.
Which we'll get to.
Okay. Yeah. Then the D-Day naval deceptions began. Allied ships and aircraft made deceptive movements in an attempt to deceive the Germans into believing that the Allied invasion force would land in the Calais region. Calais being French port city, so somewhere in France.
Gotcha.
Versus Normandy, which I believe is northern coast on the Hitler's Atlantic Wall. Is that right?
I think so.
Normandy's
I don't
north.
know.
Yeah.
Calais is south.
Normandy. Then the north along the English Channel.
Gotcha. Well, deception.
The
So-
Northmen live.
Those deceptions involved Operations Taxable, Operation Glimmer, and Operation Big Drum, which were basically just large movements of ships and aircraft.
Okay.
Sometimes involving bombing to basically, like make it look like we were prepping to invade the
Right.
area.
Yeah.
Let's see.
A lot of strategy
Operation.
involved.
Mhm. Operation Tonga began at 10:56 p.m. So end of the day. You know what? Now that I think about it, 10:56 when? 10:56 U.S. 10:56
Oh yeah. What? Yeah,
Greenwich
local
Mean
time?
Time.
Well,
I would imagine it's probably GMT because they're in Europe, so that would make sense.
Yeah, that's what I would think.
I would guess.
Anyways, Operation Tonga, when an Allied force of bombers, gliders, and air and transport aircraft took off from RAF Tarrant Rushton to begin an airborne operation near the city of Caen. I didn't know how. So, like, when I think of a glider, I think of the small towable aircraft, normally one, maybe two people inside. Right? So, like World War II gliders,
Yeah,
like
baby.
they were packing like 20, 30 guys. in
Yeah,
a
dude.
Glider with no engine, made of plywood, like, and just dropping them in enemy
Nope.
territory. It was essentially like a larger, more. I would imagine they were like, hey, the parachute thing that's working, but our guys kind of get all spread out. What if we put them all in a glider and just drop them, and then they all land together? But it was kind of like a 50-50
Precursor to
shot
Fortnite.
whether or
Yeah.
not they all whether or not they're able to land, because so was it 10:56 at night, it's pitch black, like
Yeah.
like you're trying to land in the dark, you got no lights, no power, you're basically just at the
Falling.
mercy of gravity.
Yeah.
And
Yeesh.
and then you have to land, and there all the gliders are trying to land together, so you're trying to avoid other gliders in the air, and then maybe gliders on the ground that landed ahead of you. Kind of crazy.
That is crazy.
Let's see, and then birthday.
We got a
Cole
birthday.
Wilkinson.
Birthday!
Cole
Hunter,
Wilkinson, ring any
Hunter
bells?
loves birthday. Oh, sorry. Colin Wilkinson?
Yeah,
Nice.
the original Jean Valjean of Les Mis.
Ooh, there we go. That's who he is. That's why he's notable.
Yeah. I didn't look up high school, but let me see how are
Well,
my
he's from
Well,
Ireland. So.
Well, if he's in Ireland, there probably wasn't a mascot because, as I was so aptly told by a guest one time, that's an American thing, you idiot.
sucks. Everyone should have
I
mascots.
was talking to a guy who went to school in India, and he was like, "Oh no, we didn't have a mascot. We had colors, but we didn't have a mascot. You stupid American bitch." I think he said.
Yeah.
No, he didn't call me.
He didn't call you a bitch.
No, he
He didn't call you
didn't.
bitch.
But he could have. He should have. Addy Kapoor
No,
could
there's
have.
Yeah, it doesn't even say anything about his school life. Maybe he didn't go to school.
Yeah, not everybody went to school in the 40s. They were born in the
Self-taught.
40s.
Yeah. And then unfortunately died Joseph. I'm gonna guess that's Joseph, not Joseph. Joseph
Yep.
Beck. At 49 years old, the Polish foreign minister from 1932 to 1939.
Okay.
And then Ricardo Zandoni at the age of 61, an Italian composer. Several different operas. I wasn't familiar with any of them.
With any of them. So not notable to you, but maybe there's somebody out there. Well, I think we're at our time limit, and it leaves us right at D-Day. So this can be our prequel episode leading up to D-Day, and you guys can join us back at the next American Timelines episode. We're going to jump in right to D-Day and just start on Tuesday, D-Day. This was our pre-D-Day episode. And thanks for taking us there, Hunter.
And you did say they can join us on the next American Timelines episode, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Because you kind of skipped out there.
Join us next time on American Timelines. And then we'll have a little preview. Can you do a preview segment, Joe? Go.
Yeah, maybe.
Ready? Next time on American Timelines.
D-Day. Operation Overlord.
You're bad at this.
What other stuff
I mean,
do
you
we
could have
have?
just started reading it.
Battle of
man.
Merville Gun
No,
Battery.
you
Oh, then we can just keep going. No, we're not. We're going to stop here. But no, so
Well,
next
yeah.
time, join us next time. Same American Timelines channel, same American Timelines time. No, I can't say same time because God knows when I'll put out another episode, when we can get together. But the four of us have done a lot of research already, so we could probably jump in a week from now and put it out.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we will be back. Thank you for listening. Thank you guys for coming along with me in this new format.
Hey, man.
I hope you guys had fun doing
Thanks
it.
for inviting.
Yeah. And as you see, we can
I
kind of play
enjoyed
with what we
myself.
want to talk about, and then hopefully as we do this more, you guys can kind of have more fun with what you're looking up and stuff. And
You're saying we sucked this time and next time we got to do better?
You
No,
know,
I just-
you're a
if
little
you're not-
hard
I
on
was just saying
yourself,
if you-
Hunter, that's not what he said at
no,
all.
I'm saying if you didn't have fun this time, hopefully you'll have more fun next time. But I thought it was fun. I mean, I learned
enjoyed
stuff from all of
myself.
you. You guys all brought something that I didn't know before. And I'm glad to have known it. But we'll be back again with this 4-guy roundtable.
Yeah.
So we got to
Thanks for
go.
having.
We're going to go drink milkshakes and high five everyone in our neighborhoods. And you should listen to American Timelines by History for Jerks. Check out the Gruff and Loud Show, the Nerd School podcast. Hunter Brizzle, you got something to plug?
Join our Discord.
Oh yeah, join. Yeah. Oh yeah, tell us about the Discord. How do you
Boom.
join?
We have a Discord. We have a nerd school Discord.
Oh,
but I guess
wow.
we should probably just open it to what's your overarching thing?
History for Jerks.
History for Jerks.
Yes.
Yeah, that can be please join our Discord. There are links on Instagram and where else are we at, Joe?
Yeah, check out the Nerd School on Instagram, American Timelines. History for Jerks is on Instagram and Facebook. I don't know if there's links to that Discord there, but I'll put it on the website.
You're going to put it there, Joe.
I'll put it on historyforjerks.com because I have, the Deborah Joe Ruppaverse. That's the other YouTube. Our YouTube channel has the Deborah Joe Ruppaverse plus Nerd School plus Gruff and Loud Show plus American Timeline. So we'll get all. We'll get that Discord.
TikTok. Don't you have History for Jerks?
There's a TikTok page. Yeah, there's TikTok History for Jerks. Yeah, so get the Discord out there, and then we can engage with our fans. It's a good way to engage with listeners. Thank you, Hunter, Art for creating it, Hunter for taking it to another level.
To the next level.
And then Gruff, thank you for being willing to put things in your Prince Albert
No.
hole.
I did not agree.
What?
with any of that.
You don't agree?
No,
What?
I didn't see that part of the
It's like a fan
contract.
contest.
I don't.
Whoever wins,
Oh.
they get to suggest things that you put in your Prince Albert hole.
That could be a problem. I don't think that's a good idea. I don't think that's hygienic.
Yeah, check out the
Or
Gruff and Loud show where
hygienic.
we find out that Gruff doesn't have a microwave.
True.
But he has a
other
popcorn
operations.
Joe, we need a thing to do at the end, like a
Like a sign off.
now, like everyone's now you say, now I'm obsessed with time, like that kind of thing.
Now I'm obsessed.
Do you still use it? Do you still use that?
Yeah, that's the intro. Yeah, and
There
then
you
the
go.
outro we did say
need
get
an
out of
outro
here,
thing.
get out of here, Chuck Berry. It was the American Timelines outro from episode 1 because we talked about 1990. In that year, Chuck Berry was caught with he had a restaurant and he installed cameras in the ladies' room. And so
I didn't know that about
yeah.
Chuck Berry.
Yeah, and he's from St. Louis, where my wife is from, and she said that was big news in St. Louis. So their running joke was, if anybody walked in the bathroom on you, they'd say, "Get out of here, Chuck Berry." So that became our sign off of American Timeline. We would say, "Okay, time to get out of here, Chuck Berry," and that's why we said it. So time to get out of here, Chuck Berry. Anybody else want to say that?
Oh, time to get out of here, Chuck Berry.
Get out of here, Chuck Berry.
Get out
Get
of
over here, Chuck Berry. You're not wanted.
Oh, my child, it's about to get wild. Have you been down on the streets today? Say, now, baby, it's about to get crazy. Everybody's got something to say. We got 10,000 people screaming, oh my God, it's over, but they're never gonna take us away. So you better get believing there's a brand new feeling. If you're asking, I say stay awake, stay awake. I know you feel it on the inside.
Matt Truman Ego Trip is the greatest band of all time. Buy their music. American Timelines is a product of History for Jerks. Check out historyforjerks.com for all the other weird and cool shiznit. There's the Gruff and Loud Show, a YouTube show for Gen X weirdos who like pop culture and weird shit. There's also the Deborah Jo Ruppyverse show featuring the mighty Artstar and Steve Bishop exploring the theory that the actress Deborah Jo Rupp is a nexus being, and every part she has played is one immortal being. Don't forget about the Nerd School podcast and the Threadless shop where you can buy a Tito Jackson shirt and a Dabney Coleman hat. Only a stupid dumbass wouldn't want a Dabney Coleman hat, and only a wiener bitch wouldn't want a Tito Jackson shirt.